When I first started making music, I had 3 goals, 3 things that I wanted to get accomplished while I made that music. And that time I did. It was to create my own story with the music, to perform at the highest ability I could, and to see the world and have an adventure and just leave a legacy, you know? And I feel like with those 3 things, I accomplished them to a degree, but not as much as I would have liked on a higher level. And looking back, I could say that I have fun. I had fun before, and I couldn't redo it even if I wanted to.
Yeah, we about to take shit. I don't play that, we about to stand around shit. This is a fucking rage. Where my fucking rage is at?
I've been making music for a long time, since like 2008. I put out many projects independently or group wise, if I could say that. And my biggest regret in music is that I didn't allow myself to really fail in music. I didn't allow myself to gain that lesson of, failure is an option, because I wanted it so fast. I wanted to not necessarily win all the time, but I wanted to always have good results. I always wanted to pass. I didn't want to hold on to something that was a failure. And if it failed, I didn't necessarily, take it on the chin. I moved on from it, and I would forget that it happened. And I think that was my biggest problem when I made music. My biggest regret. And I always wanted to make a legacy for myself. I always wanted to stand out and, carve my own path. So the music I would make would be necessarily my own idea mixed with a little bit of influence from the people that I looked up to. There's a musician by the name of MC Ride who is a member of the Death Grips. And he said that I could sit here and list off a name of the people that influenced me, but that's just a proxy of my creativity. Paraphrasing, but I understood that and I saw that as I don't need to emulate anyone. I don't need to be anyone else but me. And that's who I wanted to be. I wanted to be Filex Shanks at the time. I wanted to make music for my audience that I was building, but selfishly for me at the same time. Because when I made music, I was very selfish. Because it was more so for me than it was for anybody else. I didn't make music dedicated to anyone. I just wanted stories that I had, or my personal stories, you know, to be told in a way over, you know, sonics that was relatable, but it also was selfishly for my own gain, and not for popularity, no, but to make a way. Because if I made a way, I wouldn't be stuck in a situation where I was. You know, I wouldn't be as miserable as I could have been in certain places. And when that music came, and when I would step into recording studios, I made the music solely for me, selfishly for me. And I knew that, and I didn't really care.
Why everybody taller than me?
It looks retarded because it's a video.
Damn, bro. Goddamn. I'm hot.
You know, Wasati, bro. Hold on, let me tell you something, bro. I was sitting in the middle of the stage, right? This nigga right here just threw some fucking water in my face.
Right on you. I felt it in the back.
Salty, bro. I had to keep going.
I'm like, damn, this is what we doing. Hella plug outlets in the back.
Like, damn, I felt violated. I felt like a little bitch, bro.
I feel like a little bitch, but I feel like
somebody just squirted on your face.
you know what, fuck it. It's my niggas.
Yeah, my nigga, bro. You was hurt.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It
wet
was
me.
water. It's just water.
I dried it off.
It ain't nothing, bro.
My hair's still curly.
You wash
hold
my
on.
face
Shout
with the
out
water. It don't matter.
to Jesse, bro.
Shout out to
What up?
Oh yeah, what side get the money? You already know. What side get the money? What side get the money?
Where did y'all put the money?
I performed all around the Cincinnati area, and it was pretty cool at the time. I was on one of the biggest songs in the city, in a song called the Carrie Remix. I had one of the not hottest songs, but like one of the most interesting songs in Wolf Rain's Prayer. I did a lot in my short span of time of 2013 to 2015. Maybe 2016. Now that I think about it. But I wanted that trajectory to always have the living legacy that Filex Shanks is an amazing performer, that I could engage with the crowd and then, you know, make them understand that I am the master of ceremonies. And I did that for a little bit, and it was fun, and I did that with my friends, and I did that to prove that, you know, I was different, that I wasn't going to just sit up there and, you know, just hang out and just bore you to death with my songs that you probably never heard. I was going to give you energy. And all that energy, all that, you know, that frustration that I had at that time was to show people that I was a showman. And I loved performing those records, and I loved feeling the energy of the crowd. That part wasn't selfish. I knew what I was doing. I was doing it for people. I was doing it to gain their trust and their interest and their appraisal. I wanted to be better each and every time I performed. There was nothing like it. There's nothing like feeling that high of going into a room, grabbing everybody's attention, allowing them to know that what you're doing, you have passion behind it. You have a bit of a need to do so. It's like an addiction. I just miss having that sort of energy. That sort of idea that at the drop of a dime, like as you can see, I record on my laptop and this microphone, and it's a raw emotion that you can get. It's a raw feeling that you can get. Like I've made, 7 albums, 7 projects. Recently learned how to make beats, about a few years ago. And I relatively do that stuff now, but I don't take it as serious as I once did. But the one thing I will say about music that always helped me was, this is your story. And you write the story. You create the content. You create the world. And that philosophy where you are the creator means there's so many setbacks that can happen. There's so many things that can happen that can ruin your imagination or your creative process. But as long as you write the story, you will always be the antagonist.